Let's continue our discussion on pharmacovigilance. Hi, my name is Phil Walls. I'm Chief Clinical Officer for myMatrixx. So last time we introduced the concept and how it relates to the FDA. Today let's talk about how we've incorporated that approach into our myRxAdvocate program. So when we think about drug therapy, first and foremost we're thinking about clinical safety for the patient. But there are financial concerns as well. Through pharmacovigilance, we're combining both of those in our data analytics to make sure that we're watching out first and foremost for the safety of the patient in a clinical perspective, but as well we're also looking at your financial interest. So how do we accomplish this? Well, let's say that through our data we identify that there's a high-risk patient possibly based on an excessive morphine equivalent dose. Well, the first thing we're going to do is evaluate that patient, make a determination if there's a potential to wean them off of opioids. If there is, with your permission, we're going to reach out and have a consult with that prescriber. We're going to talk to him or her about the risk associated with continued opioid therapy. If they're in agreement, we're going to work with them on a compassionate weaning program, which I'd like to point out is consistent with the release from Health and Human Services regarding discontinuing opioids. We're going to then successfully get that patient off of opioids, but they may still be experiencing pain. In that instance, now we're going to have to look at an alternative. We can look at NSAIDs, we can look at some of the anti-seizure medications, we can look at antidepressants. Whatever the case may be, we have moved them to a safer drug, but remember, safety is a relative term. All of those drugs also come with their own concerns. In the case of NSAIDs, let's pick on those for a moment. NSAIDs are a better alternative to opioids, but they also can cause significant GI irritation, can even lead to peptic ulcers. They also have the potential for causing cardiovascular problems. Now, the cardiovascular concerns can be mitigated simply by the prescriber monitoring the patients for those and adjusting accordingly. The GI irritation typically is managed through the use of another drug, a drug that's going to decrease stomach acid. That's a perfectly good clinical combination. This is where, though, we have to start watching out for financial concerns. There are some drug companies that have looked at this as a market opportunity, and they've combined in one pill both an NSAID and an H2 acid blocker or a proton pump inhibitor. Okay, clinically, there's nothing wrong with this combination. Where our concern comes in is when the price of this new medication is excessive, and that unfortunately is what we've seen. We've seen these combinations run $2,000 a month. I even had a case just this week where it was running $7,000 a month. The ingredients in these drugs are typically older generic drugs that are still available. We talk to the prescriber. He or she usually, first of all, is shocked at the expense of the newer drug. They're very willing to rewrite for 2 different prescriptions. The patient gets the exact same therapy. They have the exact same safety profile and outcomes, and yet we were able, through the simple step, to save the client thousands of dollars. This is the potential of what we're offering to you and all of our patients through myRxAdvocate. Next time, we're going to talk about what happens, though, if the patient cannot be weaned off of opioids. Thank you very much.